Good morning, Jefferson City. This is the NT Daily for Thursday, June 11th. So we're still going rogue today. One of our everyday listeners pointed out to me, though, that I might need to every so often reintroduce myself to our readers and subscribers. So Erin, host of the NT Daily, and I want to start today by saying something kind of semi-serious before we get going. The lines of traditional news are a little blurred now. People get their news everywhere. This is not news. You are probably watching this on who knows which platform, your phone, your computer, maybe even your TV, I'm not sure. Podcasts, TikTok, social media, group chats, Snapchats. I hope you are not getting your news from Snapchats from your friends, but hey. One very confident person at the soccer field, and occasionally maybe a strange man in a truck delivers the news to you. I don't know. But if we're going to be honest about how people consume information, we also have to be honest about how we present it. And so it was brought to my attention that, every so often I need to reintroduce what we're trying to do with the NT Daily and introduce myself. So I'm Erin. I was born and raised in Jefferson City, not by choice. Typically where you grow up is not your choice, but I did move my family back here a few years ago to raise them here. And so, my goal with the NT Daily is to try to bring you local news. And yes, I would like to make that more fun, but it doesn't mean that we have to make the news less serious. It doesn't mean less serious. It just means more watchable, more human. It means you might actually stop scrolling and, something might catch your attention about your community before your phone launches you into another video of somebody organizing their closet or telling you about their Amazon shopping. Local news is important, but it can also be fun. Two things can be true at once. I say this all the time, at home and here at the office. We care deeply about what is happening in Jefferson City, and you can also acknowledge that some government committees sound like they were named by a 1990s fax machine. So we're going to try to make local news fun again. Hopefully that's going to be good for all of us. I assume that some feathers will be ruffled along the way, but I think that if you understand and know the person that is delivering your news, that's going to make it even more better. So I will try to remember that every so often I will try to remind folks who I am, what we're doing here at the NT Daily, and I will keep workshopping the acronyms. We are not starting a Saudi Golf League, but let's get into it. Our first story today is from Lincoln University, and our reporter, Liz Garcia, started this piece with such a good hook that I'm just going to give her credit right up front, and I'm just going to read it. She wrote, "Agriculture, perhaps the world's oldest industry," I'm not going to argue with her there, "and the latest in technology collided Tuesday during a field day at one of Lincoln University's Jefferson City area farms." Great line. And that's why this story is first today. I mean, Steffi can't be first every day. You can have a favorite, but you got to recognize, game recognizes game. Good job, Liz. So, yes, agriculture and technology collided, and apparently they collided in a field with tractors, research booths, lab technology, and quinoa. And on that last part, did you even know that we had quinoa fields in mid-Missouri? Because I did not. For one, I still don't understand how I'm supposed to cook it. I swear I still follow the directions as the packet says every time, but I haven't been able to figure it out. But we have quinoa fields here, thanks to Lincoln University. And I thought quinoa only grew like in exotic places where you hike and see mountains and pretty things. That's not true, or it's not only where you have wellness retreats in South America. Quinoa grows right here in Cole County. Lincoln researchers are at the field day. They talk a lot about all of the different things that the agricultural school has at Lincoln University. If you don't know, this article is for you. Lincoln's George Washington Research Farm, Washington Carver Research Farm, fantastic article about all the great work they're doing there. The booths on the field day covered greenhouse production, hydroponics, native plants, quinoa research, aquaculture, poultry, plant pathology, integrated pest management. That sounds like something you would only hear in the boot heel, and more. So, fantastic. It was truly fascinating. A graduate assistant that was interviewed for the article mentioned that there was also research or talked about how a lab technology, due to Lincoln's research, can provide more accurate data on an animal's breeding potential. And so I read this and I thought to myself, you have to be mature. But all I'm saying is, seems like we finally found a scientific way to evaluate male potential. And I will always support that science. So that's fascinating. There's all kinds of research to help farmers make better decisions, improve animal health, strengthen parasite resistance, and produce more reliable outcomes. So I think it was a really cool article, really cool field day. One of the people interviewed for the story said she drove more than 2 hours to attend because when you love what you do, you go lots of different places for it. And that's the kind of sentence that makes me think that I need more hobbies and maybe even a better attitude about my day-to-day. Speaking of work, though, our next article, work that matters to fields, farms, factories, offices, hospitals, warehouses, anywhere there's physical labor and closed-toed shoes. You have to talk about workplace safety, and we had a great workplace safety article in the Tribune this week. Jefferson City apparently leads Missouri in workplace safety job growth. Very specific profession. Sounds great. Until you get to the second half of it. Second half of the headline, at least. Pay lags behind. So we lead in growth of these jobs. We lack in our pay. The basic idea is that workplace safety managers are the people who make sure all our workspaces, hospitals, schools, warehouses, construction sites are actually safe places to work. As we've talked about, there are a number of government agencies that oversee these things. So they handle safety programs, training, compliance, all the things that keep us from becoming the next bad federal agency story. Or the next chapter of the jungle. If you went to Helias anytime between the 1990s and the 2010s, I know you know what I'm talking about because you had to read The Jungle because Coach Jeffries made you. So I just want to say, since we're on this topic, Coach Jeffries was a former Helias wrestling coach and former Helias football coach, and he also taught all of us in American history. Blake and I both had him, and I just want to say, on the record, Blake did not read that book, Coach. I did, though. I read the book. I know he didn't. But once you've read The Jungle, you know exactly what this article is about. So, not surprising that we would be leading in a new kind of job growth category, but disappointing that it's become an important job sector, but that we can't keep up with pay. Jefferson City has 15 workplace safety managers for every 10,000 workers, which is above both the state and national averages. The number of those jobs grew 71.4%. So the opposite of the state budget, 71.4% from 2022 to 2025. And the largest increase among the Missouri metros. But the median annual wage here is just around $65,000, which is the lowest among Missouri metros. So the good news is the field is growing. We have lots of competent, experienced people here in the mid-Missouri region, but we are lagging in pay. So we trust you with everyone's safety, but please don't look at what Kansas City and St. Louis pay and move elsewhere, essentially, is the message. So before we get into events for the week, I want to thank our NT Daily sponsors, Hen House. Today's ad is brought to you by Hen House, your local market here in Jefferson City. Summer savings are heating up at the Hen House with fresh cut meats, produce, deli, and bakery specials. They've got boneless pork loins for $1.99 a pound, brats, southern peaches, blueberries, watermelons, cinnamon rolls, chocolate chip cookies. Basically everything you need for a good summer cookout where you don't know what's in your fridge, but you know people are going to be hungry. Hen House has you covered. You can get all these deals if you text Hen House directly at 41570. Please go see our friends at 1904 Southwest Boulevard in Jefferson City, so you can make sure that you are stocked up for the summer. Now that we have dinner secured, let's talk about what's happening around town that you can catch this weekend. So when we were doing our resubscriber events last week, I met some lovely ladies that belong to the Bittersweet Garden Club, and the Bittersweet Garden Tour is coming up this Sunday, June 14th from noon to 4 p.m. It's the 25th annual tour. It's not the 250th anniversary like our country, but it's the 25th annual tour. Ticket holders will get to visit 5 private gardens and visit, I think there's 1 bonus garden included. So I love this because this is aspirational, and also if you're like me and have been working on your garden for almost half a decade now, can be personally devastating. There are names to this year's gardens that include A Gentleman's Pastime, Up and Coming, Charm and Character, Sprawling Beauty, Truly Spectacular. I mean, these sound like these could be horses in the Kentucky Derby, but they sound amazing. My garden would be called We Tried, or The Deer Won. So there's that. But this tour sounds great. There's raised beds, somebody has a koi pond, flowers, butterflies, birds, and tickets are available through the Bittersweet Garden Club Hy-Vee or from any Bittersweet Garden Club member. So I want to thank those ladies for bringing this to my attention. I need all the gardening tips. I actually think it would be funny if we did a segment where we either brought someone out from Lincoln University or the Bittersweet Garden Club and they just walked through Erin's garden and provided constructive criticism. That's what I think my garden needs, so that it can finally, maybe one day, make this Bittersweet Garden Tour. I mean, you have to have goals, folks. You have to have goals. We also have, I hope that we have a few Fulton Sun readers, but next, the Fulton Street Fair returns June 12th and June 13th in downtown, so Friday and Saturday in Fulton's downtown Brick District. It's the 22nd year of the fair. It includes arts, crafts, vendors, a carnival, a beer garden, live music, a bike show, a 5K for those of us who are really ambitious, a kids mile for those of us who have children who might be ambitious one day, a karaoke contest, which is fascinating to me, a car show, a parade, and a button drawing. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to fit in. Even for us Midwesterners, that's an ambitious event. So if you're around Fulton and you want to check out the details in the Fulton Sun, I hope that you are able to make it up there this weekend, because that sounds really good. I mean, it doesn't have the name like morels and mushrooms do for Fulton, as far as like Fulton carnivals and festivals go. I mean, I don't know how you get better than morels and mushrooms, but morels and microbrews, yeah. Not as good as a name, but I hope that you, if you are around the Fulton area this weekend, you're able to go to the street fair. And speaking of other creative things happening locally, our friends at South Bank Gift Company in downtown Jefferson City, they are an NT Daily sponsor, and they have a full June schedule, including Thursday night is open paint night at South Bank. I don't know what that means. I hope open paint night means that you still get some kind of direction with your painting, but it's free of charge. They're inviting people to volunteer with them. South Bank also has Annie Sloan Chalk Paint 101 class, a Little Light Lamp Workshop, and later this month, the Joy of Chalk Paint Master Class with Tristan Miriam. I love this because some people relax by going to the spa. Some people relax by painting furniture and convincing themselves that they are one chalk paint away from becoming a new person. So I love this. South Bank has an opportunity for you, and they are masters of the chalk paint. So check out their June schedule for upcoming classes and events and volunteer opportunities. If you want to paint something, if you want to learn something, they have something for you at South Bank. And we can't do another episode without doing our new favorite segment, Hot Take or Hot Mess. This is where we look at an opinion piece and decide whether it is making an important point, lighting a useful fire under us all, or simply wandering into the group chat with a really bad take and too much confidence. So today's piece that I picked out, I think it was in the paper 2 or 3 days ago. The piece is entitled, "Can't Find a Job After Graduation? Blame Work from Home, Not AI." And I'll just say it up front, I did not care for this. This may be one of the worst takes I've read in a decade. And I think COVID was less than a decade ago. So, so the argument here is that AI is not really what is hurting recent graduates in the job market. Work from home is. The piece points to studies suggesting that remote work makes it harder for young employees to get mentorship, supervision, training, all the hands-on things. When people are not in the office, junior workers miss out on learning office politics, building networks, watching and learning from their senior colleagues. Hey, is there a point here? Of course. There is a real conversation to be had about when you work from home, what are things that are missed out on. But I feel like blaming work from home as the villain feels very tone deaf for the people who work from home actually helped. And I was in that category, so I feel personally victimized by this op-ed. Because for a lot of women, especially working mothers and caretakers, remote work and flexible schedules were not a cute luxury. It was what kept us in the workforce. So the thing that made it possible to go to the 9 a.m. meeting, get the school pickup, and answer emails while sitting in a pediatrician's office and getting tested while your kids, getting their nose poked for COVID made it possible when childcare was closed, a kid was sick, a parent needed help, So when I read a take that says basically young graduates are struggling because people are working from home, my first reaction is, really? Is that the villain? It's not, sky high prices, the cost of college, the student debt they took on because every adult in their life told them that they had to have a degree. It's not companies cutting entry-level jobs for AI while still somehow, needing 5 years of experience for entry-level jobs. So we're going to blame Susan answering her emails from her kitchen as the reason. Yeah, I just don't buy it. The issues that the article points to, like politics, office politics, charming clients, building a professional network, those are real skills. They're also emotional intelligence skills. They're socialization skills. They're look someone in the eye and read the room. These are things that young people have historically always struggled with because they're young. That's like the defining feature of being 22 is that you don't know how to do it and you're not fully formed and emotionally fluent. You're supposed to be talented, anxious, overdressed, and quietly terrified of how to work the office printer. That's like not new. This is, but what is new is that we've handed an entire generation smartphones, social media, algorithms, online classes, not being able to go to college in person, AI tools, and 1,000 ways to avoid uncomfortable conversation, and then we're shocked that they don't know how to navigate uncomfortable conversations and know how to use social skills. So this is a device economy problem. It's a digital life problem. It's not a work from home problem, and it might even be an AI problem itself. Yeah, totally. Young workers need to understand mentorship. They need social training, social skills, but yeah, I don't think that we can really blame work from home for this, especially when I think work from home was particularly helpful for caretakers. And I would also say that for those who might be worried about AI work, taking their jobs, as a working mom, I'm not sitting around worried that AI is going to replace me and what I'm good at. AI can help me draft emails, it can help me make a grocery list, it can help me organize things better. It's not replacing my judgment, it's not replacing my caretaking, it's not figuring out which kid likes the blue cup or is going to cry because they got the green cup or is lying about brushing their teeth, or no one knows where their backpack or their swim bag is. Those are things that I have not seen AI be able to replace yet. Not saying it couldn't one day, but yet. In fact, I actually think AI helps us manage some of that chaos. So I think moms in particular should not be worried about this problem. And we should definitely push back against anybody who says work from home is hurting young people, but not AI. So, I'm going to rate this hot mess with a burning fire flame under it. And I don't feel bad about this because this was not a local commentary piece. It was syndicated from one of our national partners or our national syndicates. So, brings me to my official call to action. Let's make the Jefferson City News Tribune editorial page great again. As I was launching this new segment and trying to figure out the commentary for it and what articles I was going to comment on, it was really hard to go through because we have lots of syndicated commentary and not enough local commentary. So I want someone to write passionately about whatever is keeping Jefferson City awake at night. I would love to hear from you for Hot Take or Hot Mess. Send us your local opinions. Be brave. Be coherent. Please be under 600 to 500 words. And if your take is bad, do not worry. I promise I will be kind. So, we need more letters to the editor. We need more local commentary for the editorial page. That's my call for today. So before we close, I have to follow up on our very first Hot Take or Hot Mess. So last time we talked about the Give HCJC a Chance letter, which was a very great local commentary letter. Their proposal for a homeless shelter and resource center at 107 Adams Street. And I said on the record, because our new format has serious consequences, that I would show up and testify in support. Well, Planning and Zoning is holding their public hearing tonight, so I will be there in person, like I said I would, to testify in support. That's an important lesson about saying things on the record. Sometimes when you say things, you have to do them, and you create work for yourself. So, I meant what I said. I'll be there, and that should be entertaining for everyone, probably, but me. So, that's the NT Daily for Thursday, June 11th. We hope you like this new format. We, as always, want your feedback. We want to know about what's going on in Jefferson City, what you want to talk about, what's going to make local news exciting again. So, email us at ntdaily@newstribune.com. But otherwise, if you didn't like the new format this week, you don't have to hear me again until Monday. Or you don't have to hear me again at all, I guess. But anyways, we will be back on Monday, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll see you soon.